What's up, guys? Brett here. We're back playing some more Battle Brothers. Let's jump back in. No reason to wait. So, guys, off camera, I did a few things, trying to get our money situation back under control. I took out a ton of different locations. We actually just came into kind of a big fight, I just realized. We're going to try and use the Reproach of the Old Gods pretty heavily in this battle. You're also going to notice that we have a few more people in the back line, mostly to get a level off of Ozzy. He's pretty close to leveling. We'll just pass with everyone here. So at the end of the last episode, I think I bought a coat of plates. And then in my free time last night, I was playing, just trying to knock out some small locations. I killed a hedge knight and got another coat of plates. So, you know, 10k down the drain, but not for nothing. It serves as an upgrade. So we've got one on Gimli now as well. So Gimli and Behemoth kind of match at the moment. And we've got a pretty decent little fight on our hands here. We're in the middle of a quest right now to just kind of clear the roads, just a general patrol quest. And we nearly have the heads that we need. And we're going to stay high and tight here. We could move forward. This position here is very defensible. But we're being kind of flanked. And if we don't move forward with our bannermen, we could make ourselves vulnerable potentially to Geists. So that's kind of my thoughts there. So I think we're just going to chill. If this was a different enemy, I could see us advancing to pin them in, especially orcs or something. But there's so many of them that they've already spilled out onto the flanks. So let's just sit back. We're going to pass our turn with John. Because what we want is for multiple... That was a bad shot. We want multiple Wiedergangers to jump in so we can get the full value of the lightning from the Reproach. We don't have a lot of good shots though. We need them to advance a little more quickly. So guys, what about that last episode? Like, we just one-shot one of the most difficult fights in the game. Not super surprising. I mean, our gear and our levels is pretty high. Not the highest. It could be better. But if you were ever going to one-shot it, you know, this is a pretty solid crew to do it with. But I remember struggling with that fight in my last playthrough. And just, you know, getting so close so many times and ultimately failing. And we just walked right in. Snatched the dude's lunch money. Okay. One of the units in the game that the Reproach of the Old Gods is best against? Geists. All we need to do is get the lightning to jump to them once, and they die. Pretty sweet benefit. Went for the decapitation there so he won't come back. We'll just keep sitting back. Take this opportunity to move up a little. And we'll probably pull our banner out this turn. Some of the strongest units are chilling in the back, the fallen heroes guarding the Necromancer. I don't expect them to have really any effect this turn. So I guess we'll just shoot there. This is perfect though. That's what I'm talking about. And we'll sit here to conserve our next attack. Let them come to us. Perfect. And we may even get another lucky jump. Alright, banner out. Good hit. We do, of course, deal 20% less damage because it's not our original target. And I think it's pole hammer time. Damn, we missed both. Come on, Rainer. It's our time down here. Goonies reference. Check. Always good to remember that cutting the head off of a fallen hero doesn't do anything. That's actually not true. I was kind of thinking about it yesterday. It does something. I think it's worth considering the fact that when you cut the head off of a fallen hero, what it does do is make it so that you're no longer even able to hit their head, so that you know afterwards that every shot you put into a fallen hero will be directly hitting the body. That bit of information you could consider certainly to be important. So to say it does nothing, I guess, isn't entirely fair. That's what I'm getting at. Was kind of hoping for a random jump to the other Geist. And unfortunately, Mudu there is going to whiff a little bit. We're not scared of this group. We've got a few brothers who are currently wearing some slightly janky armor that's been messed up in previous fights. If they came forward with, all of their fallen heroes at once, we might be a little more worried. That'll work. Berserk is one of the best mechanics you can have on whoever wields the Reproach. Got a 49, 49. Having the ability to hit 3 times in a single turn with that weapon is just great. Good hit with our hammer. And I guess we'll take out the bill hook. Alright, we finally get to use this weapon. And unfortunately, we only get to use it against a straight up weak zombie. We'll go for the 79s. Decapitation there. And we're going to see if we can't leapfrog Gimli. Like that. And maybe we can take out one of the last remaining Geists. Bone plating takes the hit forest on Isaac. Perfect. That's even better than I was hoping for. We get the kill. We force him to have to jump back in, so no 2 swings or a swing plus a shield wall or something like that for him. And if anyone's going to be surrounded, it's for the best that it's currently John. We'll step forward 1. Okay, interesting move there, hero. But that's just constantly feeding him targets for the Reproach to get that extra value. Let's hope Gimli can smash the Geist with his mace. So something cool to talk about. Ooh, that's kind of bad. That puts him a little far away from Zack. He was already, I think, too far away from the sphere of influence. But if he got hit twice, I think he would end up routing. But something to talk about before I forget and get very sidetracked. Gimli's weapon is not his same weapon. It looks identical, but in one of the battles that I did off camera, let's try for this to kill the Geist. No. I got another mace, another giant 2-handed mace that was way better than his last one, but it looks identical. Don't know what the odds are on that, but probably pretty low. Solid hit. Let's keep him off of us. I like going for the kill there. Every time we get a kill right here, you'll see that Isaac's confidence went up. Stuff like that is pretty valuable. And yeah, missing that attack there felt bad. Okay, he's going to step back. He's probably got the most dangerous weapon on the battlefield, and he's not using it. No point in going for a shot there on the Geist. It's only a 5% chance to hit. Anything else? I think we may have been able to take a shot with Zac, but that's not worth switching out and potentially having someone route. Kind of happy they knocked me into the Geist, but it remains to be seen whether or not we'll actually be able to hit the Geist. Wow, they got a pretty nasty surround on Skeeb. Let's do our best to get him unsurrounded. Actually, he has the hammer. He could have done like a big round swing. That might have been sweet. I should have thought of that. Haven't used that weapon in a while, though. To its fullest effect, anyway. Nice. 45% chance. We whiff again on Gimli. Let's come down here with Hans. And we need to start moving towards the Necromancer. But yeah, we could have used a Shatter. Actually, the Shatter, yeah, hits 3 adjacent tiles. We could have really beat down a few of them. And we're too tired to go for the next attack. Man, we hit him in the head. If we had hit him in the body, we might have had a chance of killing him. Good. Getting our little bit of like micro value from stepping our brothers forward. We don't want to come in on these dudes one at a time. We want to, you know, kind of get there at the same time and surround them. That way nobody gets picked off. It would also be great to be able to kind of snipe out the Necromancer. Alright, good man. Good man, Gimli. Get all the two-handers in place. In my experience, they just don't move once they're in that type of formation. So we can really set up, you know, let's go around here with Mudun. By the time he goes around and gets in, the rest of our brothers will be taking position. Let's get close, but not all the way in. Oh, we had one more movement. Dang. It'll probably take one more turn of setup. This is really important. This is the type of stuff where you lose brothers if you don't care. If I just, like, you know, last turn I could have moved Skeeb into right here and given this fallen hero a free attack, essentially. But there was no reason to do that. Just a little bit of patience will hopefully keep us from getting cut down by a possessed fallen hero. Yeah, and he doesn't even step forward. That's awesome. Now this is kind of worrisome. Simply because they now have the ability to... Let's do this. We'll step in on the Necromancer. They have the ability to pick up weapons. So... Right now he's pretty harmless. He just can do a bite. And since we can move in and attack, we'll do that. And because it's Isaac, and he's just ridiculously strong, there should be no issue. We'll move all these other brothers forward. Yeah, expected that. We'll step in here. And if we have to, we'll just turtle with Mudun. Use shield wall. It's also great that because the Necromancer's tied down, he's not resurrecting anybody. Let's go for a destroy armor. We whiff. If he goes for a round swing, he kills the Necromancer, which I just didn't think he would do. Alright, he should... Okay, he picked up the spear. And now he's running, so we don't have to worry about him anymore. We can just focus on beating down as hard as we can. Good to get the killing frenzy first. That way, had we landed this attack... Actually, I didn't realize he was that low. But we whiffed anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Pretty irrelevant knockback there. Especially considering we can just jump right back in. And let's step up here. We've got pretty great armor on Ragnar. And it puts us in range to do something else on a different turn if we need to. Stack of Overwhelm there. Could be relevant. Lowering his chance to hit us. Checked out that damage, and yeah, we just kind of fade multiple attacks. And there we go. Pretty textbook stuff. And we pick up a level on Ozzy and Hans. We also pick up some heraldic shoulder plates. I mean, that's cool. I don't think that's anything we need. We might hold on to it though. We haven't really used any of these attachments, mostly because I think they're kind of ugly. And the financial reward for taking that place down was pretty high as well. So let's check out our levels. Ozzy. Let us give him one more resolve, one more fatigue, and let's give him a melee defense. And then Hans. Fatigue, I think, is always relevant. His melee skill being 80 is probably good enough. Something like that. And we're headed back to Ratterstad for a huge payday. And unless I see anything, vital to fight, I would love to fight some Scrat, but I just haven't seen any. I think we'd have to go, like, way out here into the woods to find them. I was hoping we would get there before nighttime so we didn't have to hang out. Perfect. Alright. They have ambush trade routes. Let's see, that's usually bad for buying, but for selling, it's going to be not so bad. Ooh, I didn't repair this. Okay, this is worth holding on to and repairing. Being pretty expensive piece. Sell off one of those. So here's our other our older mace. We'll take a second to compare them. Yeah, good price for the ancient gold coins, 1100. And just like that, guys, we're kind of back in the money. I may want to just buy these expensive tools, because the plan for today is to go out into the wilderness and just pick some big fights. Before we finish up this campaign playthrough, let's just pick some big fights and see what kind of trouble we can get into. And you'll see some of the gear I've been selling. Tons of stuff. That's how we made our money. Go back to Dornan. Nah. Okay. So let's take out the maces while I'm thinking about it. So Gimli here. So what we picked up was Sir Hildric's Pummel. And what we had before was the Ravenous Giant's Mace. So durability, 1 point difference, doesn't really matter. The damage on this is 87 to 110 versus 75 to 95. So just on the top end, that's 15 damage. And then on the bottom end, what is that? 12. So 27 damage on average higher will be the newer weapon. Now granted, this does have the benefit of having -5 fatigue, which on a fatigue-starved brother would be pretty relevant. But on someone like Gimli, who's got pretty decent fatigue, it's not that big of a deal. We're of course going to hold on to it because I'm a hoarder. But otherwise, if you wanted to get rid of this, sell it. At this point, it would be fine. It's just straight up, I think, a better version of the weapon. I would much rather have that extra, was it 27 damage than 5 fatigue. 27 damage is like a whole nother weapon. It's just like it's adding, a cleaver's worth of damage on top of, an already powerful damaging weapon. So that's the way I look at it. So the plan for today was to come out here and try to take on the Ancestors' Yurt City. I just wanted to scout the forest real quick. Do a little bit of preliminary scouting. We know we found every unique location in the game at this point. But we haven't done everything I wanted to do. I mean, there's champions I wanted to kill. I've wanted to very badly get some of, and we're going to explore this area first and then come back down. I very badly wanted to get some of the unique weapons of the Ancient Dead, and we weren't able to find any of those either. So I think if I get an opportunity to take an Ancient Dead fight up here, maybe I'll take it. I would love to show you guys the unique Kopeshes. I don't even know what else they have. I try not to look certain things up so I don't spoil myself. So like a fight like this, oh god. If we fight them right now, this would be a very scary fight. Of course, Ancient Auxiliaries, they're just chaff. We just smash them. But all the while we're smashing them, Legionnaires, Honor Guard, and a Priest would be raining down holy vengeance on us. Let's get Ozzy out of here. We've got an injury on Behemoth, which is why he's currently not in the fight. But if you're going to be fighting hordes of Ancient Dead, great swords, guys. Great swords, big hammers. Reproach of the Old Gods is going to be awesome. We could pull out Skeeb. Let's do this. Muldoon is great for this fight, I think. He's going to be good. His axe is so good. I love the axes as kind of a middle of the roads. Good versus no armor, good versus some armor. And then when you look at just the straight up high DPS for a one-handed weapon that's on this thing, it's just good no matter what. So, okay, before I forget to, let's repair that. Let's bring our group a little closer together. And this is fine. I mean, Lancel's not the best versus the Ancient Dead, but he's not bad either. He's just a very solid brother with huge values in his respective categories. I would like to have Behemoth in this fight, but I hate the fatigue recovery. And of course, spears and cleavers, not the best of weapons. So let's save the game, because right now we're just kind of messing around, having fun. And this is going to be one of those huge fights, Because I'm going to do it. I'm going to try and see if I can pull them all in. Yes, I did. And we're fighting them in the snow. If we can snipe out the priest, which is kind of difficult. Oh god, 30. I just signed us up for a mini Black Monolith fight. Guys, say a prayer. We don't have to shoot at them right now. We could totally just wait. One of our biggest saving graces is going to be the Reproach of the Old Gods. It melts them. And we're going to see just how badly whenever we get into this. Hopefully, what I've had happen before in our previous playthrough where I used the Reproach of the Old Gods in the Black Monolith fight, it was incredible, right? It allowed that character to get, 12 kills pretty much solo in that battle. However, there were times where, in the many iterations of me trying to beat that battle, where they would almost completely ignore him, or my character wielding the sword would find himself isolated in a way where he couldn't take attacks, or he would do his job so efficiently that he would clear a space around himself and then find himself in a position where I couldn't make any use of the sword. The sword wielder was isolated, if that makes any sense. So what I ended up doing was putting my swordman way out on the flanks and using him to kind of distract a huge chunk of the army. And I'm talking like, this many guys bunched up around him. And the whole idea was hopefully he wouldn't break. Before he would start breaking, he would start getting kills and just kind of never stop getting kills. And in that way, I was able to use him as kind of a linchpin. But once he starts getting hit, that's when the problems really start. And right now, I would much rather be taking shots at these Ancient Honor Guard, getting their armor down. What we've kind of been doing is just putting, one-off shots on the auxiliaries, the ones that have armor, and making it so that when the time comes that we connect with them, we just one-shot them. Their armor won't be a factor in determining whether or not we get the kill. So we just need some people to jump in and make kind of a bridge for John so that lightning can jump around. And someone else mentioned in the comment section, I think it was Josh, I think it was you, Josh, said that he went back and checked from this series to the last, which is some high-level research stuff, and I appreciate you for it. And he said that he noticed the Reproach of the Old Gods weapon damage, or the damage on the lightning itself, has been reduced by 10, which I think is a pretty important thing to notice. It's an important change. And I kind of felt like while we were doing the battle against the Ratchageist, I thought it was weird that our brothers weren't just getting melted every time he swung. And that's because I think on average we were getting hit for 10 damage on our brothers who mostly have 80, 90, even sometimes 100 HP. So we weren't really at risk of getting killed. Whereas had it been stronger and not received the nerfs that it received, we probably would have been. Just trying to keep the honor guard back. Whenever I see a shot on the ancient priest, I'll try and take it. We're not going to move too much out of position. Let them come to us. The priest eventually is going to force something. Whether it be through his use of his Horrify, or because he uses his cloud, miasmic poisonous cloud. So at some point we're going to have to move. This is beautiful. Oh my god, he came within range of the Reproach. Jesus, I hope they do that for the Black Monolith fight. So we have 2 targets. We can do this and hope it jumps, and it does. And now we step in, and we are on the priest, y'all. That is great for us. And we're going to get this out. Now, we've got a lot riding on this formation up here. On Isaac, once again, that kind of linchpin position where if he falls, we just get completely enveloped. But, I mean, I don't know who would be better in this spot. Got a 79 and 95. Wow, we one-shot him with that weapon, that stupid, stupid weapon. It does so much damage. But that was a powerful boy we just destroyed. And the priest goes down without having done a thing. We even take out another legionary as well. We're not out of the woods yet. There's some scary weapons on this side of the field. But maybe we can prioritize and isolate them. We'll take that. I'll take a little bit of overwhelm. A landed shot there. Knocks him back. I was wondering whether or not that would be a kill, but we just learned something. It is not. Good. Keep them back. It's a lot of work from Ragnar just now. And here we'll go for a line shot. And this auxiliary is doing a ton of work. Believe it or not, just holding down the front line. Wow, okay, so they've managed to get in and get their shield walls active. It's going to make it super hard to kind of dislodge them. That's kind of where the isolation plan comes in. Good kill. So now we've got these honor guard who are kind of just by themselves. Knock him back, pull out the billhook. And they're just so late to the party. We've already killed 15 of them. This is a great start, by the way. But if this was the Black Monolith fight, I mean, I honestly don't even remember the numbers on that. We would already have like 10 dudes here. We'd have Necro Savants in our back line. You just get overwhelmed so easily. I didn't have this armor the last time I did that fight, though. That armor is just a complete game changer. Just like the Reproach of the Old Gods is. You could honestly, if you were just trying to win, I could almost see a build where you just kind of put this armor with this sword together. And then you just kind of have a brother who just won't die. Man, a kill there would have been great. It would have allowed us to attack again. Berserk and all that. Getting lucky that these weapons aren't hitting. Alright, so we weakened the shield wall just now too. Any of them hurt already? They're both actually near dead. 11 to go. I'll take that, and I'll take that. Damn. Alright, we're going to go for another split. I knew it. I was like, just for the hubris, I'm going to keep attacking this auxiliary instead of hitting a, an easier target. Just mocking me. Reminds me of that quote from the Batman movie where the Joker's in the interrogation room with Batman and he tells him, like, for all your strength, you can't threaten me. I forget exactly what he says. Man, could spend a whole hour-long episode, though, talking about that performance of Heath Ledger. Sad he's gone. I think I talked about the Knight's Tale. Maybe in the last episode. Something like that. But I love that movie. Every time I watch it, it's just like, can't do nothing but feel bad. Wishing Heath Ledger was still here. I want to say he died from a drug overdose. For those of you who aren't familiar with what happened to him. I think he battled a lot with mental illness. And by mental illness, I mean, I think mostly just depression. Probably the type of depression that comes on mostly just from being a creative person in the spotlight for years and years. Who knows what else, was going on in his personal life. I think to portray that type of depth in a character like the Joker, who, love comic book characters or not, he brought something that was beyond, I think, anything I had ever seen represented of a comic book character before. And I don't care what movie or anything you're talking about. And I think to delve to that level, you end up kind of giving pieces of yourself away in any kind of art that you create. And I think maybe that's something he suffered from. And that only happens to you if you care. If you're just kind of one of those actors, I guess, who shows up and you're like, yeah, whatever, I do my thing. Like, you don't ever leave anything behind. But then you've got guys like Daniel Day-Lewis or Robert De Niro, who back in the day making like Raging Bull, like he lost and gained all that weight. Christian Bale, I know he did a lot of similar stuff. He had to be really buff to play Batman. But then he made all those kinds of strings of movies where he had to lose, I don't know, like 60 pounds. He basically had to starve himself for a long time. I don't know, just some musings on the depth of the creative process, I guess. And how I think some people judge what they perceive to be like the weakness in character of certain actors and people in spotlight perhaps too harshly, without, of course, ever having had the opportunity to live in their shoes or be that person, And a classic example, I think, is someone like Robin Williams. I mean, I don't know anyone who could say with a straight face that they hate Robin Williams, especially in my generation. I grew up watching basically every Robin Williams movie. Mrs. Doubtfire. Oh man, what other ones come to mind? I'm trying to think of the name of it. I haven't seen it in a long time. The one where he's... Oh, Jack. Jack, that's it. Okay, where he's like a boy who basically turns into a man. I think it was based off a true story, actually. You got Hook. All of these great adventure stories. And of course, when you're a kid, you're not really privy to the whole like adult side of someone like him. His stand-up was very adult. I also grew up watching a lot of Nick at Night, and that was a ton of like Mork and Mindy. So I kind of had him in my life for a long time, and then to kind of learn that behind the scenes he was just this incredibly, overwhelmed, depressed person who leaned so heavily on drugs. Really, really saddened me. And Jim Carrey is another classic example of that, I think, too. He's had a lot of personal tragedy in his life, outside of his own like creative, nature. I believe he had a girlfriend commit suicide, something like that. Let's see if they'll pay us to go and take on that location. Buy a little bit of extra food. And we're just going to sell everything regardless of price. There's actually a pretty good documentary for those of you who have Netflix and like watching Netflix shows. There's one on Jim Carrey. To my eyes, it's a bit like propaganda-y and a little bit feeding into kind of a mythos around Jim Carrey. A little bit more than actually like a faithful, perhaps, retelling. But there's a documentary around his... I'm actually going to hold on to this. That's pretty valuable. Around his portrayal of Kaufman. And one of his first kind of big movies where that wasn't like a mask type movie. And he kind of lost himself in his character. And whatever the case may be, it's a really interesting documentary. Hunt down the Barbarian King. I mean, I wasn't expecting to fight the Barbarian King today, but... Wait. His warhorse was last spotted around Spikewind. East from you. Every time there's a... Yeah, it's always been over here every time we go to find the Barbarian King, but it does say east. And here we have an opportunity to have another archery contest. We've done this plenty of times. Glad we bought all that excess ammunition. We're going to lose 60 of it. Feel free to read that yourselves. We've done this multiple times, but +1 resolve for 2 of our brothers is great. And I was going to come here and smash some barbarians. But here's the Barbarian King right off the bat. And let's see if it's one of those instances where we need to kill them. It looks like their army is really puny. I say disrespectfully. But honestly, it looks like we could just smash these guys. So maybe it'll be another one of those cases where we don't want to fight them at night, though. If we have to fight them, we don't want to fight them at night. It might be another one of those cases where they're going to ask for our help to kill the Ancient Dead. Alright, let's meet him at dawn. Nope, the Barbarian King warband trundles across the land with no hint of training or even semblance of formation. But you know that with the mere wave of the savage's hand, he may set upon his enemies a horde of killers who have more than ample supply of carnage to overcome any lack of cohesion. You prepare the men for battle to arms. I mean, we could probably snipe the drummer. Reavers are just like weaker versions of Chosen. And in this, oh man, this is a beautiful setup for us. They're going to have to be filtered through. And we're just going to pick them apart. If they leave the drummer, like if the drummer steps up a little bit and they leave him unsupported, we'll take our shots at him. Although these Reavers with their throwing spears are probably the most dangerous thing to us right now. We'll stay there. Step up. We'll make some circles here. Let's come in here. Perfect. The king steps forward. Very menacing. I'll take a miss if it hits. And we're going to step here. We're going to make our circle right here. I think Gimli plus Lancel strong enough to hold that position. And now we've made kind of a kill box. If we step in here, I don't really want to do that. Let's let these ones come to us and kind of break around Svarog to either side. I'm cool with that. It's just going to take them a lot of turns to do it, which is the big thing. Okay, we can step onto the light snow, but we can't step forward into the snow. Not to be confused with Snoo from Futurama. Alright, they've got the heavy throwing weapons. They almost destroyed my shield with that one throwing. They did. Alright, John. You're on, buddy. Don't underestimate the Reavers. I think they're about to teach us that. And this armor's pretty damaged. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us. But I think we're taking the best fight we could. Wow, and a double block there. Gonna crush our dreams. Go for the drummer. We just want the king to be hanging back. Decapitation there is fine. We don't want to step into a triple surround. He has underdog, so he wouldn't get any type of negative from it other than just being surrounded. Man, a few rough misses here is going to completely change my outlook on this battle. Yeah, we're just missing like everything. Let's try and help out Svarog a little bit first, I think. Alright, that's enough of that. I'm tired of missing on these little rinky-dink shields these guys have. As Svarog can clean up down here, we'll be able to kind of get a wrap. The Barbarian King doesn't look like he wants to step into this spot. I don't blame him. Nope, he does. He does not give any shits. So the Barbarian King is definitely another character that's worth looking up. Let's go for the Destroy Armor. He's got so much of it, yeah. And now he's completely like armorless. So we can hit him there. His armor's gone, and I actually went for a gash there to try and injure him. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in that same wiki I used in yesterday's episode. And I want to give you guys like the exact stats. Oh, and he swaps himself out. Pretty smart. And the drummer, of course, still being alive sucks for us. And they've been pretty damn accurate with their inaccurate throwing weapons. Which actually have on them a decrease to accuracy. And they smash Gimli in the head. Okay. He's definitely the easiest target, so we'll go for him, we'll get the kill. And 3 misses in a row on this particular Reaver feels bad. And we just can't hit this drummer here. Come on, game. Don't do me like that. Someone promote this guy. Ooh, we nearly killed the king. Good hits. And man, Leisure Side being the one to do the real damage. I'm sad that we lost my shield with the insignia of the company on it. I think we have another set of paints, though, in our inventory that I've just kind of been holding on to. We could always paint another kite shield if we want. Plus, we have extra unique shields. I'm trying to pull up his stats right now. Okay, we might actually kill him here with the random lightning jump, and we do. That's so sad. Well, hashtag not my king, I guess. Zach, homie. We just had an archery contest. Don't want to underestimate these dudes. I mean, that's a big weapon he's wielding. So let's give him a little bit of respect. If we step in here, we can use Sir Lancel. He's by far like in the best shape. I was going to say we could make sure that if we needed to, he would be the only one who could be a focus of this particular barbarian's attacks. But I just don't think that's necessary. We're just going to clean him up right now. Man, I would love to get another set of barbarian armor. I don't know why. I don't need it. But I wouldn't say no. And you know what, there's really no reason to put Isaac in any kind of danger. 2 brothers is definitely enough to kill 1 Reaver. We'll step in here just to get a more efficient surround. Never mind. Glad we took this little quest. But I still don't have the strength of the barbarian in front of me. I'm on the right website, but I need to like pull it up. Some of you might not think that's too important, but I was hoping to get it. I'll get it before the end of the episode. Just finish the fight. There we go. We got a level on Isaac, cool. And we did get another one of the helmets. We got another helmet, but not the armor. Dang. Is that the same as the other? Is it? They're both 250? Yeah, okay, so they are identical. That's a pretty nice payday, though. Considering all we had to do was walk out here. Feel free to read that. Oh, actually, I'll read it. This is probably cool. Not every day you get to do one of these quests. You dump the Barbarian King's head onto Baron Bjarn von Osten's table. He stares at it, then at you. That's the biggest effing head I've ever seen. Nodding, you ask for your pay, and it's delivered an appropriate sum. Your employer starts pushing the savage's head around as though he were a sorcerer looking to steal its secrets. I'd wager this is where tales of ogres come from, yeah? Like a child sees this ugly thing and there it is. His imagination is set alight, and so the monster is born. If only things were that simple. Agreed. Well deserved for us. Horrible beasts are afoot. No. We don't do anything for 700 crowns. And we've got time today for one more fight. If you guys are game, I am. We don't want to sell anything there. The prices there are always awful. If we go to Ratterstad, we can sell stuff at a really great markup. Now this is a fight. This is a legit fight. So thralls, of course, we can just wreck them. Perhaps we're a bit too beat up at the moment. Let's level Isaac. Fatigue and keep pumping his melee defense, I guess. And then great timing on John's level as well. We need to give him... You know what? One more resolve is nice. That'll put him up to an even 60. That'll work. We need to give him another shield. So we'll probably just let him borrow one from someone else. That's cool. And anyone who's too hurt, we can pull them out. Like Isaac's armor's blasted. Of course, I just took away his shield. Let's give him someone else's shield. Just checking the condition of my front line right now. I would really like to have my archers in this fight. If we're going to take this fight. It's an incredibly dangerous one. But if we're going to do it, we didn't need to do it now. So let me save the game once again. This is one of those fun battles we're kind of only doing because I want to just test our brothers. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to do that. Going to hook up Gimli with a little bit of HP regen. like it. Let's go in here. Damn, look at that. That's quite the list. Honestly, when you're fighting this much stuff, I'm just like, just throw in a champion. Just let me kill a champion too. So what I would love to do is get up on this high ground. I don't know if that's possible though. We're just kind of like that little bit too far off of it with Gimli and Hans. If we started half on, half off, we could make this kind of like a citadel, force them to come to us. But we definitely want to get our archers up there. That'll give them such great range and accuracy against especially these Beastmasters. So like if we have to use this entire first turn to get our archers and crossbowmen into a better position, then that's what we're going to do. Okay, that's not a safe way to pass. Let's get up there. And if we can't step this way, then we need to step in such a way that brings us less into contact. Like we don't want to step forward, essentially. Let's move back. And what we might do is actually use adrenaline too, just to get into position where needed. This is quite the last battle. This might take a while. If we could pick off the Beastmasters soon and rampage the Unhold, that would be awesome. I don't know how feasible that is. Yeah, we're not quite in the position I want to be. Let's get Lancel to use adrenaline so we can stand side by side with Jotnar. We need to be aware also that the Unhold might just throw us. So Indomitable could be pretty valuable. Man, the Beastmasters hang back so far. It's all about whether or not we can get up here and keep ourselves up here. Very worried about the Unhold. The terrain is not going to be a big problem for them as long as they have drummers that can keep them fresh. %45 chance. It's a big hit. Man. I don't want to fight any of them on equal footing if I don't have to. But I think it's worth it to do that. Man. An aim shot would have killed him. Oh, and I used a split to try and hit the Chosen, but the Chosen is 2 levels lower. So it didn't do anything. That's important to know stuff like that. And to not make those types of mistakes if you can help it. Chosen's definitely the most dangerous enemy. This crew right here, super strong. Everywhere else is a little sketchy right now. This whole area, I don't like it. And honestly, Jotnar up here is not going to be effective at killing anyone. He's too high and isolated. So I think what we do is we bring him here and prevent any type of wrap. Yeah, we may want to Indomitable as well. I anticipate us being able to clean up these dudes as they walk in piecemeal. He dies to bleeding out. He used adrenaline and then died to bleeding out. Man, would love to step Ragnar up onto this perch. But any archer in this position is in like a supreme position to start sniping for us. One Beastmaster gone before the Unhold Engage would be great. We really want the Unhold to turn on them. That would be amazing. But we have to kill both of them, I do believe. Or at least tie them down in melee. Are kind of the stipulations. Maybe they'll move forward for us a bit more so we can get some more accurate shots. And that can become a reality. See what they do. Alright, content to sit back. This is the one we really wanted to move because he's just that little bit outside of our reach. And the Chosen kind of dancing around the outskirts of the formation are also great for us. Perfect. I'll take 2. I can't complain about landing that many hits. And this is one of those things where John just feels like he's in a really bad spot. And that's what we knew was going to happen. But if it had to happen to someone, at least it was Gimli. Let's just go for a kill. Perfect. You come in, get knocked down. So those numbers being reduced like that was great. Alright, double whiff. Does not feel good. We're actually going to bring Svarog here. Two injuries. I'm hoping he steps forward. We knocked him back 1, but we're also able to step forward 1. Pulling out this weapon is going to make it so our shield isn't as viable. Let's go for the one shot there and then the one shot there. And now we can actually put pressure on them. There's no one to stop Gimli in this location from doing Gimli things. Well, I guess there's one Reaver, but I mean, one Reaver, right? And y'all gonna have to get past the Thane if y'all want to do anything. Man, I was gonna say it. That might be a one shot, perhaps not. And we'll reload since we can't attack. Let's go for the destroy armor. Very good to have Lancel here to do that. And that hurts, but that kind of just puts John in a location to, you know, start messing with the back line. Unfortunately, the Unhold are now in our business. And even if we manage to kill the last Beastmaster, which I don't even know if we can do, because now they're on top of Ragnar, they're just going to rampage into us. Nice. He's not wearing a helmet. If we hit him in the head, he's just straight up dead. Trying to break my shield, eh? I'm getting pretty tired of the AI crushing my unique shields. And another question worth asking, I think, is whether or not the Beastmaster already used that ability. If that's going to prevent them from having any chance to rout. Man, we're kind of unlucky. Might be unwise, honestly, to target the drummers, since they have almost no, like, bearing on our combat at the moment. Good. And we may just want to consider just brutally destroying the Unhold. We can't reload because we've got an Unhold sitting on top of us. But we can't crush his armor. Alright, that was pure luck. Now this Chosen will probably get to close the distance with Behemoth if we don't take that shot. And he would probably end up standing here with Behemoth on the low ground, which is of course not something we want. Go for the regular attacks there. It's a heavy hit in the head. This spot kind of scares me a little bit. There's just a high concentration of Chosen with an Unhold backing them up. So it always seems to me that unless you really have the opportunity to snipe out the Beastmasters, you almost shouldn't even try. Because we wasted a lot of DPS trying to get them, but ultimately they did nothing this battle. So if we'd have put those same shots into these Reavers and Chosen, we would probably find ourselves in a lot better position. And we're going to try and kill that Reaver on the high ground with our ranged power if we can. Yeah, I'm worried about Hans. I'm a little bit worried about Jotnar. Okay, it's hard to see what's going on here. 56. Go for that kill. Good hits. And I mean, we missed two of our attacks. Two of our attacks would have definitely killed that Reaver there. I also don't like this. We're putting ourselves on the low ground against an Unhold. We cut his artery, he'll bleed. Let's step in here. He's going to get a chance to attack us first, but he's going to do it from the low ground. And 2 hits there. Damn. Get the kill. There we go. 2 hits there on Hans really has me worried. He's the softest target. Yeah, it would hit too many of our own guys, I guess. Try and kill him. We stunned him at the least. That's good. Alright, he whiffs his first attack. Good. Very good. So I guess what we want is for them to not target the hell out of Hans. And we kind of need to pray a little bit. Step forward there. I don't think Behemoth needs any help. At this point, if I could, I would switch to my shield. Oh no, he went down. Damn it. We'll finish the fight. Guys, if Hans is dead, I'm just gonna reload. This is a fun battle and everything, but I'm not trying to lose, you know, key brothers before major quest level battles. Think of it as a barbarian skirmish. And tactically, it's been fun to play. Just those damn chosen, man. The variance, the strength of their weapons makes it so hard to protect against. They're basically us. You know, they're heavily armored, really good skills, and then really powerful weapons. And we know how well we kill things, so. Try to disarm us. That chosen wants to run. Let's keep using our bow so that we can apply overwhelm. Reload. Get him out of here. Alright, we dodge another attack. Very good. We're putting all of our efforts into killing that one unhold, even if it's the lowest chance of hitting. So we managed to do it, but it's too little too late. Happily, he's too stupid now. He kind of skipped his turn, which is cool. But I had a feeling Hans was doomed. When that unhold landed 2 hits in a row, it softened him up so much that just one single hit was enough to take him out. We'll probably never catch that drummer. That chosen is gone, and now it's just us versus what will soon be a single unhold. Do we not have overwhelm on John? If not, that's a pretty big oversight on my part. Could swear that I do, though. Trying to move a little bit out of the way. We'll just move in here for a better surround. All that maneuvering was basically just to get leisure side in there. Alright. And Hans is dead, of course he is. So for our trouble, were we even going to get anything good? Looted valuables. I actually haven't seen this yet. A pillaged pile of valuables that have been looted by the barbarians over the years. Many pieces are broken and bent, but the materials are quite exquisite. And for our trouble, we would have gotten Sir Dankwart's conic feathered helmet, which is a good helmet. I might do this battle again in my off time and just wreck these dudes. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. That's going to be it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Just us making the best of our brother's abilities, exploring the map one last time before we finally head over to the dreaded Black Monolith and in this particular run. So guys, I just want to give a special shout out to the people in the comment section who have been writing stories all this time. You guys know who you are. I think I'm going to do a little special shout out in the last episode for sure. Name you guys. Just want to say I appreciate you. And if you haven't read the stories up until this point, I want to say you've been missing out because they've been excellent. But, alright guys, without any further ado, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Later, y'all.